mods, especially Stormworks mods, they can do really weird things. The real question is, should you have Stormworks mods? To be honest, I didn't even know that Stormworks mods existed until like a couple of minutes ago. But when I went on the Steam Workshop and I figured it out, I was like, whoa, mods. So, do mods either enhance Stormworks gameplay, make the game better? Do they make it worse? Or is it in between? Or is it even independent? Today we're going to dive in on what mods I think you should have if you'd like to have Stormworks mods. Are mods like useful? And like what type of mods I think are the good mods. So, let's get started. Pipe mods. An interesting type of mod, in my opinion. Now, I think when I first saw and thought of pipe mod, I thought, what are you going to use that for? You have this normal standard version of pipe right here. Does a trick. Then when you actually use them and spawn them in, you can see. This is a normal Stormworks pipe. Looks okay. When it's compared to something like this, which is about the same size, and it's a lot smoother. I think it looks really, this one looks really good. Not saying this is bad. I mean, I could not make a pipe that looks like this over any day. But the use of these isn't just so they can look better. But like, what if you're having like a steam engine and you want it to be available for like maybe maintenance, like it's a roleplay ship, or maybe you want it just to look better. Instead of having these little pipes, you could have bigger pipes, so it's like more steam, there's more flow going through it. Or like maybe for like if you're making a car, for the like the exhaust, you don't want it to look like that. It doesn't look too good. But if you use one that like this, you can just pop that fluid exhaust end on the back, and it looks just like it would like this, but it looks a lot better. And you know, like I said, the big ones makes it look like it's, you know, it's taking more pressure, it's stronger. So I think pipe mods overall, I think that they're definitely useful, especially if you want to build like I said, boats. Maybe you have like, I don't know, a liner, big ocean liner, or anything with a big engine. Could even be like a plane. You want it to look like, you know, that engine's going, that's a big engine, because you need to keep that plane in the air, or you need to tow all this cargo on a boat. So you want it to, and if you can actually go into the engine and look at the engine, it just looks so much better when you have something big like that. I don't even know what to call this mod. So I'm going to call it part mods. Stuff like this. Stuff that gives you half blocks. Different types of like weird blocks. All of these different blocks I think can be very useful. It's like you would never thought you need an inverse 16 until you actually need an inverse 16 for one of your builds. And it's just so much easier to have stuff pre-built like this. Where yes, you can, I believe you can do most of this, some of this stuff, not all of it, but some of the stuff in vanilla. But yeah, stuff like this just elevates it. And oh yeah, and well yes, you can do some weird things like I showed in the intro with some mods. I think mods like this doesn't really affect the game. It makes it easier instead of having to replace everything in like this flotation part with triangles. You can just use half blocks. Make a little half block home, and you get a nice flotation block that looks pretty good without spending all the time turning it into wedges. And of course, it'll be bigger and stuff. But yeah. And the reason why I didn't just throw these down is because when I installed this mod, aviation parts and block overhaul, boy, then it takes up so much. Like, why? This much? But yeah, this is why I didn't put them all, because it probably would have taken a lot of time to put these all down. And look at all these. But I mean, it's just simple things that have like makes it very nice to build stuff. Yeah, and you just have like extra shapes, because you know the Stormworks. Well, I'm not trying to say that Stormworks is a bad game. I think Stormworks is an awesome game, and I could never code a game or like do all the designs and stuff. But just having some of these extra things with mods, I think really brings it to life. Like you can make shapes that you never would have been able to do in vanilla Stormworks. And it's not even really modding Stormworks. It's just adding. So it is, but it isn't in my opinion. So yes, it's modding it because it's adding extra things, but it's also kind of keeping it the vanilla, just enhancing your experience with it. So now we're going to be tackling 3 at once, which is going to be seat mods, wheel mods, control surface mods, and that's because they're all related. You know, you want good. All these kind of related to aerial things. I mean, except for like driver's seat, but they're all related to aerial things. You need the control surfaces for lift, your roll, ailerons, and you need good wheels, because I mean sometimes the wheels get old, you know. Yeah, so let's dive in. So let's start with the seats. So the first thing we have here is just a normal old pilot seat. This is a mod. I think what's nice about it though is you do like have a. It's only one part, so you can have like storage underneath the seat or something like that. Now, rather than affect your view, you would have all your hotkeys and stuff. Do the old seat. So it's basically just if you want to make a older aircraft, you know, you have the more bulky, not as comfortable seat, and you have the one little joystick. I think that's what you'd call them. Yeah. Or do the reclining seats. This is nice if you want like maybe like a airliner, I think, because you know you want to have your seat back if you're gonna be in a plane controlling it for hours and hours, or like a race plane. You know, you want your seat to be back. And we have a driver seat recline. This would be really good for go-karts, I feel. Really, really good for go-karts. And let's go to the wheels now. So we'll start over here. We have 3x3 wheel casters, which I think would be really nice for like a fixed landing gear plane. If you just want it to stick out a little bit without having to make it look that good, just have these casters. And for the back, you can have an angle 3x3 wheel caster. Next ones are narrows. So they're pretty dang narrow, as you can see. Then we have a 3x3. We have a 5x5. So it's probably, I think it'd be nice for something that you want to have a very narrow wheelbase, but you don't want to sacrifice, you know, the good-looking tire for. And then, of course, the 5x5 probably would need like a much bigger plane. And we have, I probably might use these a lot, wheels with no bases. So they're just the normal wheel, but they have no bases. It's just really, really annoying when you have that base and you're trying to like make it into like a tail landing gear. It's really hard to make that centered. When it's not centered, you have like a landing brake, and then you know you slide the way that it's not centered to. I just have a big one. Yeah, and then next, these control surfaces, which is amazing to see. Oh, we're sliding. Is the wind picking up? What's happening? Well, might have been me jumping on it. But, or it could just be all the mods right next to each other. I don't know. Mods do weird things, as I showed in the intro. Yeah, we have 3x2 to 3 tapered. I really like that. It's good for like jets, you know. Then we just have a 3x2. It's like a really tiny one, probably for like a roll. And we have just a bigger one of this. It's tall. Same with this. Yeah, it just gives you new, unique shapes instead of that big square, which is nice. And keep on saying this, but I know I could not Give me a million years. I could not make a game like this. But it's just things that, enhance it. And not saying the game's bad. Not saying the game's bad, but it just makes it a little bit better. Kind of reminds me of discussion with the 1x3 wedges. It's like, it'd just be too much work. The reason why they have not done it. I'm not sure if they'll do it, but the reason why they haven't done it yet, they might do it, I'm not sure, is because, all of the connecting blocks, you just have to make so many more connecting blocks to it. There's mods, so people who do have the time to do it can do it for themselves. But yeah, so I think for these, it's really nice to have for like planes, it just enhances it. Makes it look better. Let's move on to the next mod type. Door mods. First thing I want to say is there has been many times before I knew how to make custom doors and the logic and all that stuff where I was like, I don't like this hinge door. It doesn't fit my build. But I had to use it with a hinged hatch because I didn't know how to make it custom and look good. I didn't even really know how to make the logic for the pivots and all that. Which is why I think that these can be really nice and get stuff that Stormworks does not have in their doors. So we'll start off with these. They're aviation doors. I mean, what more could you expect? Pretty nice. You can crawl in this hatch. You can use them for anything. Crawl in all the hatches. You can crawl out all the hatches. They're probably meant to sit vertically. Not how I have them. But yeah. So close those up. Really good for when you want to climb into something. Maybe like a bunker hatch would be really nice actually. Now these are more like house doors. Maybe small bunker doors. They have glass, so maybe just bulletproof room doors. Could be anything. You have this door, which you don't have to crouch through. And you have these doors, which are a little bit smaller, so you do have to crouch through them. Close those up. And I will link all of the mods in the description. Now we have last bit of this one. Basically this one, but it just has the it's just the offset version. Yeah. And this is the sliding glass door. Really nice if you want to make like a house. You get in the middle. Yeah. Stuck in the middle. Yeah. So we have 2 more mods after this. Yeah, I think it's really useful. Definitely enhances your game if you want, like I said, you can use it for anything. I think it's more, especially these hatches, ones in the front, are more geared towards aircraft, and these two are also more geared towards aircraft. Maybe these three also. Yeah, this is a separate mod pack though from all of these. Just a simple sliding glass door. Pretty sure that's actually the name of it. Next we have armor mods, which I think is already something Stormworks should already have. Especially when we have armor piercing rounds for the cannons and light auto cannons and machine guns and all that. So why do we not have armor to pierce? We have the armor piercing rounds. So I think this definitely covers that for us. This is not all in the armor mod, but just some of it. Armored windows, tilted, and it just replaces some of the blocks, or not replaces, but adds more of the blocks, like 1x1 slope, 1x2 slope, or wedge. Puts armor on them, protect your builds, like tanks, really useful. Yeah, so for this one, yes, it definitely enhances your Stormworks, your experience with it. Makes it a better experience, and it gives a use for your armor piercing weaponry. So yeah, weapon mods. Now this one's the one I have is relatively small, and I just realized you can't see the belts I've spawned in. It's okay. So pretty sure this is Ash's weapon mod. Pretty sure that's what it's called. Yep. And it adds drums. Side, like, and it adds belt-fed machine guns, and not just the vanilla machine gun, but it also adds the MG3, the little classic one. Yeah, I really like these. Making it belt-fed, you know, adds a little bit to it, and there's also the drums. If you like the drums, yeah, little small. I think if you like, you know, having like, if you like having more realistic machine guns and weapons, I think this is definitely for you. And I definitely like that. But yeah, and this will be our last mod. In the end, do I think Stormworks mods are better and give the user a better experience? Yes, and I am glad I found that mods exist for Stormworks. Now, one mod I definitely think, there's a new water graphics update. It looks the same to me. So if for some reason I don't get that water graphics update soon, I think there was, I'm not sure. There's probably a mod for that. But yeah, thank you for watching to the end, and hope you go install some mods for your Stormworks gameplay. Goodbye.